Hi YouTube, I want to go ahead and record this video, the one I was telling you about my daughter having a dream. It was kind of quite disturbing, actually. And I'm showing this scripture. This is Matthew chapter 2, verse 16 through 18. Now, the reason I'm showing this scripture is because the dream my daughter had, it was just it was about babies being dead in the streets. Is pretty much how she saw it. Um, but I'll go ahead and share what she saw in her dream. So she said it was herself, it was me and two of her sisters and her aunt, and I think all of her family was with us. She said we were in a black Cadillac Escalade and we were pulling up to this park, this newly built park that is in our city, and a lot of people, go to it. And she said we were pulling up to this park and we were meeting my brother and two individuals who go to our church. Now, she was saying once we pulled up, she said we were kind of driving under a bridge that is actually near this park because I pulled everything up like on Google Maps so she can look and kind of see, okay, is this what you saw in your dream? And the different things I pointed at, she was like, yes. And she said that, this particular bridge was made a little bit different, but that was the bridge. She knows that was a bridge that we had went up under. And the reason I'm stressing this bridge because in her dreams, this is where she saw these dead babies. Yeah, I'm sorry. I am struggling to breathe because I am here in Florida, and if you've ever been in Florida, you have horrible allergies. So I've been dealing with my sinus issues and all that stuff going on, and I'm struggling trying to breathe. So if I sound stuffy, that's what it is. But I'm sorry. Okay, so back to the dream. Um, she said we went under this bridge that was near the park, and she said we parked on this median near the park, and when she said that, I'm assuming that there was there had to be some big activity going on at the park. The fact that we parked on the median, and she said we walked on the crosswalk to get to the park. And I kind of knew what she was talking about because there is kind of like a crosswalk that you can go to, walk through to get to the park. So we got walked through the crosswalk towards my brother and the two members of our church. And she said she remembered looking at the bridge or the overpass, and she said she looked up and saw dead babies. She said there were several of them. They were kind of placed in a type of pattern, she said, on the bridge. And she kept saying this. She said it's kind of like where the the homeless people sometimes you'll see them sitting at. So, I guess she's talking about the slope of the bridge. But this particular bridge didn't have a slope, but she said in this dream it was a slope, and these babies, I'm sorry, y'all, these babies were laying on the bridge. They were dead. She said it was, I guess, she said it was a bunch, but she said they were in a type of a pattern, like a chevron pattern. It's the only thing I could think of. There was like a baby at the top, then one at the bottom, the next over, a baby at the top, one at the bottom, and then over it. But it made a chevron shape of how the babies were laying on there. So she said all the babies were laying on their sides, and the backs were to her. All she could see was their backs, but she said the backs were severely bruised. She didn't understand why their backs were bruised. And she said all the babies were white babies, Caucasian babies. And She said for some reason, she said her eyes were being had zoomed into this baby that had brown hair. She said she don't know why that baby stood out to her, but she said she couldn't see the other baby's um, hair, but she saw this particular baby had brown hair. And she stated that these babies were about 5 or 6 months old. Now, when she first started telling me the dream before she told me the age of this baby, the first thing popped in my head was abortions. But something told me to ask her what was the age of the babies. I said, were they newborns? She was like, no, they weren't newborns. And that's what she said. They were about 5 or 6 months old. And I don't know what had happened that caused these babies to die. And the crazy thing is, she was the only one that could see these babies. She said she kept trying to tell us to look, but she was the only one that could actually see these babies that were dead uh, near the bridge. Okay, so I lost my spot. Hold on, let me see, because I had to write her dream down. Okay, so I remember. Okay, so they were bruised up, like I said. They were laying on their sides, but only the backs was facing them. Um, Trying to see what else. And I told you that they were 5 to 6 months. I had to flip the page. And she said they didn't have any clothes on. They were completely naked, didn't have any clothes on, and they all just all of them were laying on their sides with the bruises on their back. And I still don't know what. Even after I kind of sat and just contemplated, why did these babies have bruises on their back? What happened to them that caused the death? Okay, so then she was saying that they went on to the park, and when they got to the park, one of the church members was. This is so crazy, and this is gonna sound so weird, and I don't know how else to explain it, but there was I guess a rummage sale or garage sale that was happening at the park, and she was saying that the church member went up to, I guess, look for an item. But how he looked for the item is it was on a, she said it was like a screen in front of him. But the screen was hovering in front of him. She said it wasn't attached to anything. She said it was just in front of him. And it was like he was swiping, looking through different pictures to, um, I guess, pick the item that he wanted. And the only thing I can compare that to, like a screen hovering, um, if you saw Iron Man or the Avengers, and you remember Tony Stark, where he always has like this computer in front of him, but in this computer screen, and you can't really see um, the actual screen, but you can see pictures and different things that he's swiping through on the screen. That's the only thing I can think of that it was probably that type of screen. And even I think on Minority Report, there was some type of screen like that. I think throughout the city, where a screen would appear and you can, order food or do different things. So I just thought that was quite weird because I couldn't put it together. I was like, what do you mean it was hovering? She said, I can't explain it. I was like, well, what's it sitting on the drone? In my mind, I'm thinking it's sitting on the drone, and the screen is just hovering on the drone. But she was like, no, there was nothing there. It was just a screen. And so she was saying he had finally swiped through. I'm sorry, I'm moving all over the place. He finally swiped through the screen and found a red duffel bag with the letter B on it because his name starts with a B, or his nickname starts with a B. And he was trying to contemplate if he was going to get it, but the friend that was with him convinced him to go ahead and get the duffel bag. Let's see. So she said once he purchased the item, he had to purchase it on the screen, and then he had to, I guess, go around the corner or a certain part of the park to pick up the item. She then was walking towards a tunnel near the park, and I showed her this tunnel that's actually near the park. It's a very short tunnel, but you can actually walk through this tunnel. And so she said she was, by herself, and she decided to walk through this tunnel. But she said the tunnel wasn't a circular shape like it actually is um, in real life. She said it was like a rectangular shape. And she said as she was getting ready to walk through it, she saw this young black girl who appeared to be in like the fourth grade, and this is how she described her. There was this young black girl who appeared to be in the fourth grade, and she had big eyes with a natural hairstyle, almost like an afro. And she was carrying her baby sister. She said the baby appeared to be about 2 to 3 months old, and she was wrapped in a light green cloth, which was made of cotton material. And she explained to me what she was wrapped in. Um, it's almost like those things that you carry on, the things that it's like a cloth. I'm trying to explain. It's like a cloth that you can put your baby in. You actually wrap around your body and you put your baby in. And she said that's what she was wrapped up in, but that's not how the girl was carried. She was actually carrying her in her arms wrapped up in this cloth. So the baby, she said the baby was asleep, and for some reason the young girl had blood and sweat on her face. She said it appeared that the girl had been fighting for the baby. So she said she asked the girl, where's your mom? And the girl looked at her and didn't answer her, so she ran to get me, and that's when she woke up. She also stated in the dream, I had like a little side note over here, that by the tunnel, she was saying the bridge that was connected to the tunnel, it was actually blocked off, because she was saying you could not drive through or drive under the bridge because the other side of the road was blocked off. And I don't know what that meant in her dream, but I thought that was kind of weird that the bridge or the road was actually blocked off, that you could not drive under the bridge. But I don't know what all this means. I know after I wrote this dream, well, before I wrote this dream down, I had grabbed my Bible and I was reading Matthew chapter 2, and this is what jumped out at me. Um, it talks about, when Herod was going to have the children killed because he couldn't find um, Yeshua, Jesus, couldn't find him. So he figured if he killed all the children 2 years old and under, that Jesus would not be born, or Jesus, would not fulfill the prophet's word. So I just thought that was interesting that I had read this, because as soon as I read this, that's when her dream came back to me. So I called her downstairs, like, hey, I really need you to tell me the um, details of your dream, and also read the scripture to her so she could see why I really wanted her to share her dream with me. So I want to get that out there. If you have any revelation on this dream, it would be greatly appreciated. Just put it in the comments below, because I was still kind of struggling with myself, but I was like, let me go ahead and post it, because maybe somebody else can share some insight on it. So thank you all. Love you all. Stay blessed. Stay safe. And remember, if you don't have Jesus Christ in your life, it's not too late to be saved by him. Please, if you don't have a relationship with God, to begin a relationship with him today. I will talk to you guys later. Hopefully I have another dream to share soon. I love you all. Again, stay safe.